It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Well, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and here we are. 5 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. That's right, Monday. Unmistakably Monday, the start of yet another work week, and here we go. You know, it wasn't raining when I came up here this morning about an hour ago, but about 5 minutes ago it was raining. So kind of gloomy weather this morning, but it was certainly very, very nice weather over the weekend. And whatever you wanted to do outdoors, it was a pretty good weekend for it. And there were a couple or several activities outdoors this weekend. And luckily, the weather cooperated. That was very nice. Of course, we had the first annual Fall Festival in Hornell. And that was a big hit, man. There were a bunch of people downtown. And the weather was just beautiful for it. Very, very nice. Very fall-like, oddly enough. And Hornell Mayor John Buckley will be on the Newsmaker later and tell us about how that went and maybe a few other things so we can find out more about that. And also in Angelica, they had the Civil War reenactment. And that was very well attended, too. And, you know, we have photographs from both events on our website. And I was thinking when I was looking at those photographs, and I've thought of this in the past, is especially in Angelica, the photographs, of course, are in color, right? But when you read books or go to websites about the Civil War, the photographs are what? The photographs are black and white. And we tend to think of history as a black and white thing. They weren't real people because it's all black and white. And of course, life is in color. It isn't black and white. And so you see these photographs, and it kind of, these reenactors, of course, bring all this to life. You know, as I said, life years ago was in color, just as it is now. Real people wearing real clothes and real uniforms and all that stuff. And when you look at those photographs, it brings the whole thing to life. It really does. Anyway, just a little observation there. What else? Well, as you know, WLEA and our sister station, Fun 92.1 FM, carry sports. I mean, boy, howdy, do we carry sports. Lots and lots of sports. And this weekend, we had all kinds of football games on. Let me see. We have, we'll lead off. How about the Hornell-Pelmac game?
Hornell lines up in tight formation, man in motion out to the right, comes over here to the wing, and Atkins tries to get it in again, and I see one referee getting his hands up, and it's a touchdown. Center Plates is your homecoming queen, and Chase Freeland is the king.
All right, pretty exciting stuff. That was the Hornell homecoming game. That was on Friday. And then we had Canisteo Greenwood versus Bolivar Richburg.
It's 2 weeks, looking for some room, and he's going to be short of the goal. And may have got one, maybe two. So they're right there. They're knocking on the door, Joel, but...
Well, and this is 4-down territory. They don't go for extra points. They don't kick the ball. So they've got 2 more cracks at this thing.
Oh, absolutely. You don't make it, the worst-case scenario is you have them pinned right up against their own goal. Santiago under center, fakes the handoff, looks to his left, and caught for a touchdown. That's a Redskin touchdown. And it was the tight end, Slayton, on the reception.
All righty. And we also had AU football, and it was AU versus U of R.
Boston waits for the snap, gets the ball, passes into the end zone, line and back, touchdown, Alfred. Let's see, it's down to the 37-yard line, first down for the Saxons. Again, fake. There's a pass going deep. He's got him. Oh, what a catch!
He made it.
What a catch when he goes out of bounds at the goal line. That was Oddman.
Well, that's pretty exciting stuff. That really is. And we also have Westwood One's coverage of NFL games. We have a full schedule this week. And the weekend coming up, man, we have a lot of sports here. I mean, a bunch. Okay, now, Brian, do you have this week's sports schedule handy, offhand?
It's online. Hold 1 second while I pull up the website, Jonathan.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Sports on WLEA or Fun 92.1 FM. We have a bunch. And it should be here any second. Okay. Yes, sir. Well, anyway, yeah, sports pretty exciting
I
stuff.
got it. I got
yeah,
it.
okay.
Sorry about that. I had a bunch of other windows open. Let's see. Tonight at 7:30, it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals versus Pittsburgh.
Okay, mark
Coming
that.
up on Thursday, the Rams versus Bill Dugan's old team, the Seahawks. That'll be at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. Coming up on Friday, Hornell versus Wayne at 7 o'clock on Fun 92.1. Coming up Friday night on 1480 WLEA at 7:30, Canisteo Greenwood versus Geneseo. The list goes on, and we've got Alfred University versus Morrisville at 1 o'clock on our sister station, 92.1. We've got Purdue versus Penn State, another Bill Dugan alumni, and that'll be 11:30 Saturday morning, and it just keeps going and going.
Now, how many radio stations in the area or anywhere have a former NFL player working there? I mean, really, not too many.
Yeah.
Not matter of fact, I can't think of any at all. Okay, well, that was going on locally. Moving on from the local area, this is sad. I mean, what is going on in New York City? What the heck is going on down there? And this has been going on for months and months. But New York City cops are under attack, literally under attack. And this latest one, of course, came early yesterday. Another New York City cop was attacked, and this time he was shot and killed. His name was 33-year-old Brian Mulkeen, and this was in the Bronx. And he was wrestling along with a couple of officers with this suspect, and he was shot and killed. And as I said, this was in the Bronx. I mean, what's going on down there? I mean, things are really coming unraveled. And I don't know what's to be done about that. But I don't know. As I said, it's just another sign that things are becoming totally unraveled in New York City. I don't know. It's very, very strange stuff. Okay, let me see. Yeah, they've kind of graduated from rocks and bottles and water balloons and pails of water to guns. You knew that was going to happen. Things only get worse like that. Anyway, okay, this was U.S. Senator Charles Schumer, and where did I find this? In the Empire Report. He says, and the headline is, Schumer to Trump, don't let impeachment talk derail gun legislation. In other words, he's saying, well, President, that the Democrats want to string you up, but don't let that stop you. Don't let that distract you. Why don't you work on, the business of running the country? And may I add, personally, that maybe Congress should, concentrate on the business of running the country. But anyway, that's Chuck Schumer. He says, Senator Chuck Schumer on Sunday said the growing impeachment debate on Capitol Hill shouldn't stall long-sought legislation seeking background checks for gun purchases, nor keep President Trump from backing the measure. Schumer, speaking at his Manhattan office, called on Trump to, quote, prove to the American people that he can still govern and is not consumed by Democrats' push to impeach him. Why would that bother him? I mean, why in the world would that bother? I don't know. Anyway, that's what Schumer says. He says, amidst the impeachment inquiry, the gears of government can still move. Although, I don't know about that. Anyway, that's what he said. The gears can still move. Anyone who suggests otherwise is advancing a false narrative. In fact, he says the best example of governing for this president would be to pass the universal background bill, which has been sitting on the doorstep of the Senate for well over 200 days. The New York Democrat chided Trump for meeting last week with NRA chief Wayne LaPierre, during which LaPierre reportedly told Trump to stop the games on gun legislation. So, there we have it. The The chief executive, the president, has been focused this week on the possibility of being impeached. Why would he be concentrating? I don't know. Anyway, so Schumer says, don't worry about that. Don't even think about that. Let's just run the country. Okay, fine. Let's see here. What else do we have here? This is vegans on the offensive. And this is from the UK. I found this on Breitbart. Vegans threaten to sue over policy of serving milk to nursery tots. Vegans are threatening to sue the government. This is in the UK. But trust me, it'll probably be coming here at some point. Sue the government for not providing a plant-based alternative to milk in its nursery milk scheme. The government scheme provides 1/3 of a pint of milk daily to every child under the age of 5 for nursery school. But the Vegan Society claims the government's lack of a plant-based alternative to cow's milk is, quote, discrimination. The Vegan Society wrote in a letter to the government that they would be taking it to court unless children on vegan diets are offered a fortified plant-based milk under the scheme, writing public authorities are under a general duty under the Equality Act of 2010 to avoid discrimination by limiting the nursery milk scheme only to cow's milk. The Department of Health is failing in that duty. Campaign manager at the charity, Mark Banahan, claimed that vegan children are unfairly treated, lamenting that parents have to buy their own plant milk for something. What's plant milk anyway? I have no idea. Anyway, okay, fine. I have to buy their own plant milk for them, something that is not always possible for low-income families and causes a great deal of inconvenience to families who should be entitled to free milk alternatives. Okay, let me see. The European Society of Pediatric Gastroenterology, Hepatology, and Nutrition had said in May of 2017, studies have shown that children should follow or who follow a vegan diet are leaner and smaller than those children who consume meat or those who have vegetarian diets. All right, and here's who's this? A professor of childhood nutrition at the University College of London, Mary Futrell, had warned of the dangers of young children being fed a vegan diet without proper supplementation and advised parents to strictly follow doctors' guidelines. Professor Futrell said, "It is difficult to ensure a healthy and balanced vegan diet in young infants, and parents should understand the serious consequences of failing to follow advice regarding supplementation of the diet." Let me see. Vegan activists, on the other hand, have called for their dietary choice to be deemed a protected characteristic, such as sexuality, gender, age, or race, and discrimination against it is an offense. With 3 philosophers speaking to some magazine, Quartz, last year, saying it should be given the same legally protected status as religion. Veganism. Utilitarian philosopher at Princeton University, Peter Singer, said veganism was, quote, a sounder belief than any of the religions, which rests on a strong moral foundation. It's clearly a deep belief. It affects your life and the way you behave and outlook on the world. And I think it should count as a philosophical belief. Veganism. Okay. So they're ready to sue the government. Vegans. Okay, if you think that's kind of strange, how about this? Vegan says she is traumatized for life after eating pork roll. And this is from a site, Metro UK. This is in the UK too. Both those vegans are pretty aggressive there. A vegan claims she was served a pork sausage roll she thought was meat-free, and she says she'll be, quote, traumatized for life. Charlene Ndungu, 20 years old, said she broke down in tears and started having heart palpitations once she realized that the vegan sausage roll she ordered from a bakery chain actually contained meat. She says, I haven't had meat in 2 years. My belly started hurting and my heart started going crazy. And that's according to the Metro UK. She says, I was panicking because that only happens when I consume meat. This doesn't happen when I have other food. I'm traumatized for life now. I'm never going to that place again. It was a bakery. So Ndungu had returned to the bakery and was offered a $2 refund by the manager. The unsatisfied woman then called the bakery's customer service hotline, and she was instead offered a $36 voucher, but that too was not good enough for her, so she wanted an apology. She said, "I was asking for a public apology to make people aware that they should watch out for things like this," she said. "People can be allergic to pork and potentially die from such a stupid mistake. It's my choice not to consume meat because it causes cancer. That choice has been taken away from me." So she's posted 3 videos on YouTube about her horrible, horrible experience. And she says, "My body is poisoned for life now, you know." So, okay. So this lady has a conniption fit over being served. It's very... Okay, let me see. Insurance. Everybody needs insurance. And I guess especially if you're a vegan, although I don't know what kind of insurance you'd buy, but who knows. Anyway, whatever insurance you need, look no further than the Ryan Agency. The Ryan Agency has offices in Hornell right here. They have an office in Jasper, and they have an office in Wellsville. Now, they are local. I just said that. They're independent. They're beholden to no one company. They have all these companies at their disposal. And whatever you need, they can find the plan, the company that fits your needs. Because they are insurance experts. That's what they do. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're friendly. They're local. It's like having your own personal insurance advisor. That's how good they are. And they're right here in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are the Ryan Agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Check Week 4 in the NFL Sunday night. It was a great matchup, but not a great game. The Saints beat the Cowboys 12-10. No offensive touchdowns for New Orleans, but they improved to 2-0 under backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. Late action, the Buccaneers and the Rams, their first loss of the year. 55-40 the final. At 55 points, the most in Tampa Bay franchise history. Bears over the Vikings 16-6. Mitchell Trubisky for Chicago, their quarterback, knocked out of this game in the first quarter. He didn't return with a shoulder injury. Jaguars on a last-second field goal beat the Broncos 26-24. Was the Seahawks over the Cardinals 27-10. Early action, Chiefs are 4-0 after beating the Lions 34-30. They had a last-second touchdown with 20 seconds to go to get that win. Patriots over the Bills 16-10. New England off to a 4-0 start. Browns down the Ravens 40-25. Giants beat the Redskins 24-3. It was the Raiders beating the Colts 31-24. Chargers down the Dolphins 30-10. Panthers over the Texans 16-10, and the Titans beat the Falcons 24-10.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
You can now own a piece of Budweiser Brewing, the Asian business of Anheuser-Busch InBev. Shares of the new stock were priced at the equivalent of about $3.49 in Hong Kong and opened about 1.5% higher. Most of the beer company's business is in China, South Korea, India, and Vietnam. Teen fashion chain Forever 21 has filed for bankruptcy reorganization. It plans to close up to 178 stores in the U.S. and nearly as many international locations. The Wall Street Journal says Forever 21 expanded into larger stores and added footwear, men's clothes, and other items that failed to boost its business. The Dow was down 70 on Friday. NASDAQ lost 91, S&P down 15. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
How can a fully stocked restroom improve your image? How can serviced fire extinguishers or first aid cabinet make your employees more prepared? How can comfortable work apparel make your business more productive? For over 1 million customers, the answer is simple. Cintas. Cintas delivers everything you need to open your doors with confidence. Because helping keep businesses well-equipped, clean, and looking their best, that's our business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Hyundai. Drive away in a new Hyundai Tucson lease for only $229 a month. A new 2019 all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson SE model equipped with 17-inch alloy wheels, touchscreen media, and rear view monitor, lease with no money down for $229 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Okay, and we are back. Well, let me see. How about a real-life hero? And this is really something. An Ohio high school football player is being hailed as a real-life hero by his coach after reportedly lifting a car off his neighbor and saving the man's life. 16-year-old Zach Clark of Butler heard screams on Saturday and sprinted across the street to where his 39-year-old neighbor was pinned under a Volkswagen. Instincts kicked in, and I just ran over there, and I just thought I had to get the car off him. Zach told the Mansfield News-Journal. I did get it off him a little bit, and his wife and my mom pulled him out from under it. Next thing you know, he got rushed to the hospital. Now, it was crazy, the sophomore added. The man suffered cracked ribs and facial injuries, but did make it through. He's fine. Zach is a member of the Clear Fork High School football team, and Coach David Carroll says he's a real-life hero. He says our left guard, Zach Clark, lifted a car that fell off the jack onto his neighbor's chest. His neighbor survived the incident, and the doctor said that Zach saved his life. I guess so. So, Zach told a local TV station he believes his strength to lift the 3,000-pound car off his neighbor may have come from his father, who passed away last year. So here, now you ought to see a photo of this kid. He's 16 years old, but he looks like he could play for the NFL. This is a big boy. But he lifted a 3,000-pound car. How in the world do you lift even a little bit? I mean, even like 3 inches. How would you lift a 3,000-pound car? But this guy lifted that car off his neighbor. So, the guy, had a few broken ribs. That's not fun, but still a few broken ribs and facial injuries, but he's okay otherwise. So I think that is absolutely amazing. And here's something that's kind of just a little weird. There's a mayor in South Korea. And where is it? It's, let me see. It's a town southwest of Jindo, South Korea. Where that is, I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, so they were going to have the International Coastal Cleanup Day, where crews go out and they pick up litter from beaches and all that and clean it up. And that's a pretty good idea. It's called International Coastal Cleanup Day, and this year fell on September 21st. So it was, last week? Right. So he goes out there and he's looking at the beach and he says, there's nothing out here. The beach is perfectly clean. There's no litter. There's no nothing. So this mayor, what is his name? Lee Dong-jin. So Mayor Lee Dong-jin goes out and rounds up a bunch of trash. He found 2,000 pounds worth of trash somewhere from a recycling center or something. So officials trucked in litter and waste that had already been collected from rubbish-strewn coasts and scattered it all over the beach. So when these hundreds of volunteers came, at least they had something to pick up. And so it was waste, styrofoam, coastal trash, paper cups, who knows. So people found out that it had not been there in the first place, and he trucked it in, and then he apologized. So he says, I'm sorry for bringing in all this waste and trash, but, we had to do something. So beach cleanup day, there was no trash, and so he trucks in all this trash. Okay, and how about one more do I have? Yeah, I think so. Here is a house in West Virginia. There are 3,000 jack-o'-lanterns in front of this house, and on the porch, and on the roof, and along the street, and along the sidewalk. There are 3,000 jack-o'-lanterns, and this happens every year. It's called the Pumpkin House in West Virginia. And I suppose if you were there, you probably couldn't miss it, because how do you miss 3,000 jack-o'-lanterns in front of the house? Anyway, so there we have it. This whole thing started in 1978. It started with 4 little jack-o'-lanterns in front of the house. And pretty soon, you start off with 4 jack-o'-lanterns, and then you wind up with 3,000 jack-o'-lanterns. But that's how it works. Anyway, nearly 30,000 visitors visit this house every year. Alrighty, there you go, the Pumpkin House in West Virginia. And that's it for this morning show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.